needs to be briefed. Help me, Mr. Sparrow.
てめえのことじゃねえか裁くのは
Well, hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today we'll be talking about Clara, because I really think Clara is a very underrated character that you should be using if you don't really have any of the really broken options. And I'll be discussing what she does, her traces, her best relics and planet ornaments, her best Lycon, her best themes, things to consider, like your standard stuff just to know about a character. But before I continue onward, if you can just subscribe to the channel, it means the world to me, because I really want to hit 800 so badly. And while you're at it, join my Discord server, because for one, it gets more active by the day. Oh, and also like and subscribe. And with all that said, we should begin right now.
Mr. Sparrow.
So Clara is a pretty interesting character by design. She's a 5-star physical destruction unit, like we never had any of those at launch. Like Clara is a mix of a tank slash bruiser type character. Like she can take a hit and dish it back with a counter, or more specifically spark counter anyone who dares try to hurt Clara. Like Clara is this damsel in distress that needs to be protected by a big strong robot, which we all support because we all love Clara, right? And are reflected in all Clara traces. Basic attack is standard basic attack, nothing special, but you use a lot to build up skill points for Clara. But her talent on the other hand, when an enemy tries to hit Clara, Spark will block it and then unleash this follow-up attack. And that's basically where most of Clara's damage comes from. Then you have Clara's skill, which is honestly kind of interesting because you only use it in two situations. One, trying to get the ultimate back, and the other situation because one, if you just use it, it does a set amount of damage based on Clara's attack, but does an additional amount of damage based on Clara's attack if you hit an enemy that's been marked by Spark. And how to do that is, if the enemy try to hit Clara, they will get marked by Spark. Like you see like this red lock-on symbol like on the top of the enemy's head, that way you know they mark, and once you use the skill, the skill legit does double damage basically. Like in situation that like there's 4 to 5 enemies that all hit Clara and they all mark, that skill can really do a lot of damage in the right situations. And then you have Clara's ultimate, like it's very wordy, but to sum it up, damage that gets dealt by Clara gets reduced based on the talent level. She also increases her own aggro as well, and also Spark fall attack get enhanced the way it does AoE damage with an even bigger multiplier. And while Clara's ultimate active for 2 turns, if an enemy hits an ally, it will also trigger Spark enhanced fall attack. So for the talent priority, you should always go for the talent first because that's like the bulk of Clara damage. Then the ultimate, because one, the damage reduction increase, the multiplier for the enhanced fall attack increase as well. Then basic attack, because most of the time you won't really use Clara's skill that much because you just use the skill to build up skill point for the team, and then you can level a skill and it can do some pretty good damage, especially when enemies mark. Alright, for Clara traces, the first one, you have a 35% chance to resist crowd control, so that's pretty nice. And the next trace, when Clara attacks, she has a fixed 35% chance to remove a debuff from her. And honestly, her last trace is pretty insane because one, it increased Spark fall attack by 30%, so that's a really big one to get. And yeah, the Clara traces and priorities, let's move on to the next thing, shall we?
I want to protect everyone too.
You guys know that one Genshin Impact meme where every single polearm that comes out in a game is an upgrade for Shangling? Legit, same thing applies to Clara, especially if you have like a 5-star signature destruction Lycon. But obviously something irreplaceable is Clara's best Lycon. It gives you attack, damage bonus, some healing, like that Lycon is really good on Clara. It can be very accessible to free to plays because for one, you can save up for it, or you can get it from the standard banner, or on the Lycon banner if you lose your 75-25. I'm sorry if you did though. There's also the free Fall of an Eon Lycon you can get from Simulated Universe that you can get to S5 for free. But then you also have the free 4-star Lycon you can get from playing Pure Fiction and MOC, Woof Woof Dog Time, which is actually a pretty good one because she's like the only few characters that can take advantage of the passive actually. Then you have the gotcha option, which is the Secret Vow, which is her best option by far if you don't have the Fall of an Eon or her signature, or you don't want to level up Woof Woof Dog Time. But like a damage bonus it can give you, it's pretty nice. And then there are also a few options that if you have it, it could work, but it can be situational, or the other option that is better. There's Welcome to the Moles. It gives attack, but the other option is just I think a little better. And then the last 4-star option is Under the Blue Sky, which in some cases can actually be really good because for one, it gives attack, but if you get a KO, you get a nice crit rate buff, and with refinement, it can be really solid. And then for signature icons, right? Legit, they all good and clear if you do decide to have them, but at the same time, if you have a signature icon, most likely you also have the character paired up with that signature icon. I mean, if you have it and you want to swap it on Clara, like Blade icon pretty good for the crit rate, Denglu icon for the extra crit damage, but the thing is, like, if you have any signature icon and you want to put it on Clara, it will work just fine. And yeah, that's about it for the icon. Let's talk about her relics and planet ornament, shall we?
Help me, Mr. Sora!
Alright, for Clara best relic, there's actually a few she can use because one, it's obviously the physical set, obviously. You get attack if you hit the enemy, you get attack if you get hit, like, it's really good on Clara. But also, Clara is actually really flexible because depending on who you're farming for, you can also farm a Clara on the side. Like if you're farming for Ruan May, Break Effect Silverwolf, Asta, and you want to farm the Break Effect set, you can get some physical pieces on the side. Or if you're farming for the Quantum set, because everyone legit farming for the Quantum set, you can legit get the tank set that can also work on Clara as well. Or let's say you're farming for the DOT set and you get some follow-up attack pieces on the side, or you're also farming for the follow-up set for like your Herta, Himeko, Genuine. But I would say like the 4-piece physical is by far her best, but you can go like 2-piece, like 2-piece physical, 2-piece follow-up attack, 2-piece attack, 2-piece physical. Like whatever give you the best sub stats and ratio will always go like a long way for you. And for the planar ornament, you will always like to go in a soft starter because for increase the follow-up attack is always nice. Or space salutation can be an option, but I would just generally just go for inner soul starter if you can. But then if you're playing like pure fiction, unclaimed dissolution can be an option if you know you can get killed with Clara. But like the extra crit damage and pair it up with like the Under the Blue Sky, like that can be a real option. And for what you should go for on your Clara, for the main stats and sub stats, obviously for on the head and glove will be HP attack for obvious reasons. And for the body, crit rate or crit damage depending on how good your sub stats are. And for the boost, you go for attack because Clara is like one of the few characters that doesn't care for speed. Since the majority of Clara's damage come from her counters, from getting hit, you don't really care Clara fast enough, so you can build on full damage and don't even care about speed. And then you want to go for a physical orb and then attack rope. Like not having to focus on speed is nice, so you can really focus on crit rate, crit damage and attack. And yeah, that's about it for that. Let's talk about Clara teams now. Like Clara actually has a fair amount of teams, like she can be a main DPS, but I'll mainly be talking about she like a sub DPS, like a DPS / bruiser character. That can fill in the role like a sub DPS while also being like a way to soak up damage for your team. And then like you have Clara's synergy with character that can boost aggro like Lynx. But one thing I realized with someone like Clara, she really has so much synergy with units that can heal you while she attacks, like character like Luocha, Gallagher. Like the healing while Clara attacks, it can be really massive, especially in this MOC where it's kind of really dangerous. So like you have option, like you don't really need to use Lynx alone. Like you can use units like Gallagher, Luocha, Ho, basically any healer that can keep you alive, because what I realized, then Clara has higher aggro than other units other than Japard, or any preservation unit that has Landau's ult. Like she always get hit so many times when I use a character like Gallagher instead of Lynx. So with a team, right, Clara with any healer you want, like Luocha, Gallagher, Lynx, a horny character of your choosing. It could be Tingyon, Ruan Mei, your Sparkle, paired up with a DPS of your choosing, could be Sela, a Yangxing, Genuine, like any DPS realistically. Or like whatever MOC needs you to bring, like let's say if enemy with the physical and let's say fire or ice, you bring a DPS of that element accordingly. Or let's say an MOC that full on weak to physical, you can bring like Argentia and Clara. Or you want to go full on hyper carry Clara, you can go Clara, a healer of your choice, Tingyon for the energy, and like Pela to lower their defense. Like hyper carry Clara could work if they like lots of enemies, but like a boss, the damage output can be kind of low, but at a sub DPS, the damage can be really respectable as well because it can add up at a sub DPS. They're not much to say about the team because Clara is legit very flexible. Now let's move on to Clara Eidolons.
I want to protect everyone too.
honestly for Clara Eidolon, they're actually pretty solid. And especially if you get them from the standard banner or losing 50/50s, all of them are pretty citable upgrades. Like for one, the E1. If you use Clara's skill on an enemy that already been marked, the mark won't go away, which actually makes the skill a lot better because for one, you can always guarantee the time to damage once the enemies hit you, which actually makes the skill much better now. Clara E2, when you Clara ultimate, your attack increased by 30% for 2 turns. For free, that's really good. Like there's no string attached, it's a free attack bonus just for pressing the ultimate, it's pretty nice. E3 is a skill on basic attack. E4, Clara get hit the next turn, she get 30% damage reduction for the next hit. Like they think nothing crazy, but pretty solid too. E5, that's the ultimate on talent. And for Clara E6, I'm honestly surprised how good it actually is if you manage to get E6 Clara. For one, if an ally get hit, there's a 50% chance Sporog will activate a counter, which is actually pretty nice if RNG wants to screw you over and not hit Clara. It can also mark the enemies, which is good for Clara's skill. And then for Sporog, enhanced forward attack, it goes from 2 charges to 3 charges now. Like coming from the pod, god awful E6. Clara E6 is actually really good. And yeah, that's about it for Clara Eidolons.
What's your Sora?
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Alright, but thing to consider for Clara, right? Like, Clara as an early game character, pretty solid because one, she can act like a tank clad bruiser type character, which is really good, especially if you don't have any of the really good sustainers that can keep you alive, like Pushan, Aventurine, Luocha. And you can pair Clara up with those units as well for like more comfort, and you can put her in like in the sub DPS role. The problem with that, right, because of hyper carry teams that are just so dominant and so free to use, especially if you have a soul sustainer, that they kind of make Clara value diminish. But honestly, with how dangerous MOC been getting, Clara can actually be a decent solution to clearing this MOC. Like, if you have like a really good sustainer like Luocha and you don't have any of the really meta options to clear this MOC, like it can work, and especially if you invest your Clara like a really good Clara can actually clear this MOC with help from like a Jinglu. Like my Clara not exactly the best of the best, so you can definitely match or hell succeed my Clara. Like if you have somewhere Eidolon, you have a signature, she definitely can be a character you can use, especially if you don't have any of the meta options. Like we need to give Clara more love. And yeah, that's about it. Because with all that said, I think that's everything I want to talk about for today's video. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate you for sure. And let me know what I should next, and let me know what you guys think what to say, because I read and respond to all my comments. And join my Discord server and be a part of my community, because it'll just make me a happy boy for sure. And with all that said, take care, love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.